wait for nights like this.
There's an extra chip on your shoulder for sure.
We're ready for basketball in Kalamazoo. Max Burton wins the tap to E.J. Ryans. And off we go on a Thursday night. Same starting five here for the Broncos that they had the other night. Trey Lewis, one of those transfers, lost the ball. And Braden Shamray comes out of the pack. And he gets blocked from behind. Another transfer, Jaden Brewer with the swat.
Brewer, way to not give up on the play and bust butt to get down there.
And how about him busting butt on the other end for our first bucket tonight?
Both Western Michigan and Northwood are trying to play really up-tempo and up those number of possessions they get. Looking at it right now, Western Michigan, that definitely plays into their advantage.
Parker Day driving baseline. Brewer got the block, still Northwood possession. Long-range bomb coming, and Will Young knocks it down.
The offensive rebounding for Northwood will be key. Defensive rebounding as well, making sure Western Michigan stays off the glass because there is a size disadvantage for Northwood.
You know, that starting five for the Broncos, Ryans and Burton are back, but Lewis, Brewer, and Ward are all new. Number 8, Hudson Ward, a Penn State transfer. Here's Brewer, spinning in that lane. Missed it a little bit short. Parker Day clears the rebounds. First starting five of the year for Northwood. This is technically an exhibition for them. They played a scrimmage the other night against Grand Valley. They like these early tests. Brewer inside, and Western Michigan is discombobulated offensively right now.
Western Michigan, a key at the beginning of the season is working on that chemistry with only 3 returners. That's important.
Rebound and a reload. Shamray, a third opportunity on the glass for Northwood. Usually this is where Western Michigan makes its money. Eklund the miss, and this time Burton does get the board.
If Northwood can see a ball go in the basket, that's where their confidence will go up. They can give a sigh of relief. After talking to head coach Tom Church about it, he said that will be really important in those early minutes.
Burton gets the board, and Burton thought that thing was going to roll in. The Max will go to the free throw line. Let's get your keys to the game presented by our friends at Berkshire Hathaway.
For Northwood, it's going to be a lot about defensive toughness and up-tempo transition. They want to push Western Michigan up high in the half court and get into those passing lanes on defense to combat that size. And for Western Michigan, they've got to take care of the rock. Too many turnovers in their first game of the season with 15, and with working on that chemistry, they really want to trust those offensive sets and not make a crazy pass and then win the rebound battle. That's something every single game, game in, game out. Head coach DJ Stevens, coming from Michigan State, working with and under Tom Izzo, will always be key for him, is crashing those boards.
Big reason why Max played so well the other night against Coastal. He was perfect at the free throw line, 6 of 6. It's been a trouble spot for him at times in his college career, but he got better at it last year, nearly 70% from the stripe.
Burton's going to be a huge key in Western Michigan's offense this season as a leader.
Ball movement again for Northwood. There's that former Eagle, Julian Lewis, but he missed the shot. Brewer on the probe, got his miss, and got the foul. He was going up, so he's going to the free throw line.
Brewer is so quick in transition. Northwood has to pick him up sooner and stop ball before he gets all the way into the lane. Once Brewer touches the paint, you are in trouble.
You know, Brewer, I think, Lex, has got the problem that we all wish we had in life. He actually needs to put on weight. He's 6'6", 160, but I think that slight frame on drives like that, he can actually kind of sneak through the cracks in the defense.
That's right, but Brewer, if he can work on that toughness and physicality in the gym and get those muscles up, it'll make it so much more complicated to guard him when he gets in the paint. He can use that shoulder to dip and hold his ground.
Jaden was a tough guard last year in Conference USA, one of the top scorers in that conference. Spent the last 3 years at FIU. Another three, and it's good. Second three of the game for Northwood. This one down for Parker Day.
Day was able to get that shot off and create space by working that ball around Northwood's offense. They do a good job getting paint touches and moving the ball quickly.
Carson Viss lost the ball. Eklund took it away and got stripped.
Eklund, being such a gritty, tough player, he needs to dip that shoulder more and go off 2 feet. Use that strength to his advantage.
You get a foul on the floor on Viss. Tough sequence for the true freshman from South Christian in Grand Rapids.
Eklund really is a tough, gritty player, and you have to be even tougher when you're playing up to a D1 level competition. You don't have the size advantage, and normally you don't have the muscle advantage either, but he has to get a chip on his shoulder and trust what works for him.
Throw it inside, got the mismatch and the finish. Parker Day went right into the office.
And really good awareness by guard Braden Shamray. He is such a good high IQ point guard that likes to make that pass.
Viss left all alone, and Carson's got the floater up and in. His 6th career college point.
Northwood cannot afford to have those miscommunication breakdowns on the defensive end. They need to have more talking and communication.
Lewis threw it into the corner. Shamray 3. Northwood said this, Lex, coming in. I think our fans are going to like how we get up and down the floor this season as Brewer gets up the floor and misses the shot for Western.
Northwood is doing a good job playing up to that pace of Western Michigan. A silly pass right there, though. You can't try those touchdown passes. That's one of the only times that Shamray turns the ball over.
Griffith got fouled. Jamonte Smith didn't think it was a foul. And Lexi brought that up. He said, please say that on the broadcast because you're selling the school to a large audience. So, Lexi, good job. Good by you.
Thank you very much. No, Northwood, the basketball camp for high schoolers is so incredible. They really do such a good job at putting you through a lot of training and playing against some of the other best high school teams in the state. And then the dorm experience was incredible. I've done a ton of different camps throughout my days as a youth ball player, and Northwood was definitely the best one.
Weird start shooting free throws for the Broncos. They're 2 of 6. That's where they were great the other night. They made 28 free throws in the win. Monte Smith gets the foul on the drive. Man, you got to be impressed by Northwood. They've walked in here and they mean business.
Northwood is doing a really good job, and the key for Northwood's success right now is they are not giving up on the paint touch. Even though Western Michigan has that size advantage, muscle advantage, they are not afraid to go straight at you. Also, the O-boards. They've already brought down 3 O-boards, which has led to a lot more possessions for Northwood. They've gotten 11 shots up compared to Western Michigan's just 6.
I know DJ Stevens has got to be on that sidelines thinking, well, what's going on? It's been a big day for Northwood. Their shoot-around today was at Dwayne Stevens' alma mater. Northwood actually had their shoot-around today earlier at the Breslin Center.
A beautiful place to be.
I just set up the Spartan to say that.
I'm trying not to be too biased, right?
It's a great place, Lexi. It's a great place. Brewer on the probe. Brewer the spin and the finish. How about it from Jaden Brewer?
Brewer put him in the spin cycle. His body awareness is on 10. Watch how Brewer drives in, feels the contact, and spins immediately. Zero hesitation. That's what got him enough space to get that shot up, and he absorbed the contact so well.
We've already talked tonight, Lex, about how good he was scoring the basketball at FIU last year. That drive, to me, is just an example of that guy's a scorer. He knows what he's doing when he's getting inside.
And the read and react basketball is what's really beautiful to watch Brewer play with. He doesn't think too much. He plays in the heat, in the moment of the game.
Back in Braden Shamray's hands. Eklund, no fear. That one was off, but he got a break. It's out of bounds off Declan Peterson for the Broncos.
Northwood a bit discombobulated in that offensive half-court set. Western Michigan was still in a man-to-man defense. However, they were playing really packed into that paint, trying to limit the paint touch out of Northwood, and it really frazzled them in that set.
Coach Church's club will get some subs here. Will Young is back in. Also checked in John Simpson, the freshman, for the first time, wearing number 5. Shot clock running down here. Northwood's got to go. Day turned it over.
Great defensive communication. Helping the helper were the Broncos on that possession.
Broncos make some subs too. Sulak is in. Trying to set a screen for Carson Viss. A couple of the state of Michigan guys. Brewer got it back. Brewer Long rebound, and Simpson was fouled by Michael Sulaka.
Brewer does a nice job at not giving up on the play. Certain fundamentals he can tweak just a little bit, getting those eyes up on the rim in time. There's that foul call on Western Michigan.
They're really trying to get Michael Sulaka established as that backup 5 this year. Former De La Salle pilot, subbing in for Max Burton. Take Carson Viss off the floor here. Get Trey Lewis back in. Griffith, Lewis, Ryans, Peterson, and Sulaka. 3 transfers and 2 returners on the floor right now. In and out on the 3. And a foul as Day cleaned up Young's miss. Northwood doing a nice job crashing the glass.
Northwood doing a really nice job at getting a body on, boxing out, and sticking to the fundamentals of rebounding. Hit somebody before you go for that board. Northwood is doing such a good job of that.
That was also the second foul on Michael Sulaka on about 20 seconds of game action. So Hudson Ward's got to come right back in.
Unfortunate for Sulaka because these minutes are so important to show his value.
Young, that's a pretty jump shot.
Young does such a nice job off the ball at getting his feet ready when he catches it, so that when he does, he's already in motion for that shot. It looks robotic in the best way.
Ryans is desperately trying to get the ball to Peterson, but he never could. What excellent defense by Northwood.
Multiple times today has Western Michigan killed their dribble before they were ready to pass or shoot. That time it was Ryans, earlier it was Burton, and that shows that Western Michigan isn't doing a good job communicating and trusting those half-court sets.
Does the lead grow here for Northwood? They've darn near controlled this whole game so far. Day through contact and good. Maybe that's not an and one last year, but they've changed the rules in college basketball this year. That is an and one and an 8-point lead.
Day just does such a good job at putting his head down and committing to the drive. When Northwood decides that they want to get inside and go to the paint, you are not stopping them unless you take them out with a foul.
Look, if you're a Bronco fan, you're not hitting the panic button yet because they trailed the entire first half the other night against Coastal Carolina, came back and won. But, man, if I'm a Northwood fan here, if I'm a Northwood fan watching this game somewhere, I'm watching the effort from this group, the execution, the passion, and you're sitting there with a smile on your face right now.
Yeah, not only that, because Northwood's game could only get better. The more that they commit to the drive and Western Michigan starts packing in that paint, that's where Northwood's head coach, Tom Church, said, we've got some shooters on our team this year, and that's going to be a huge difference. Once Western Michigan starts respecting Northwood's drive, it only opens up those three-point shooters for Northwood even more.
E.J. Ryans just stepped out of bounds, so another Western Michigan turnover. That is already their 5th. E.J. Ryans has had 3 turnovers himself.
Got to just calm down, let a sigh of release. Woosah.
Parker Day is feeling it. Julian Lewis, good! A chance for an and 4. What is going on in Kalamazoo right now?
Western Michigan has to know their assignments. Lewis is a straight shooter. You cannot go under the screen on Lewis. You've got to fight over, and that's how he was able to get just an inch of space off. That's all he needs. Lewis, bang, bang.
We told you that Julian's not going to be scared walking into Kalamazoo tonight. Not only did he play at Eastern last year, he started his college career at William & Mary, and then he went to Miami, Ohio. This Northwood team right now is playing with a purpose.
And after talking to Coach Church, we knew they would come in with a chip on their shoulder, playing with a purpose. Every guy on this squad wants to be here for Northwood. They're not just here as a resting point to make their way to a better school. They're committed to making Northwood, putting them on the map.
Burton back in the game. Backing in on Ethan Dunn, and that's who the Broncos go to when they need a basket.
Western Michigan needs to find Burton more often down low on the block. He does a good job getting in front of the defense and sealing them on his backside.
Young, good. Northwood cannot miss.
Barnes even had a hand in his face, but just too little too late.
It'll stay with Western Michigan. Northwood right now is 5 of 11 from 3. They're 8 of 17 for the game, but they're on a 12-2 run in the last 90 seconds.
Not to mention one of the most important things, that they're winning the rebound battle, and they've got 9 points off of Western Michigan's turnovers.
Sherrod Barnes into the game. Griffith in the corner. Big shot. That's a 3.
Smart by Barnes to get into the paint off of his dribble, draw in the defender before kicking to the three-point shooter.
It's the first made 3 of the night for the Broncos. They've only taken 2. Ryan saying, I thought I was using that baseline as another defender. Western.
It's awesome. There's high school programs out there that really commit to player development and putting their athletes on a stage and in the best position for success in a day and age of college basketball where so many people are so focused on the transfers. It's really nice to see that there's high schools out there still committing to their athletes and getting them in a good position.
Eklund got them both. It feels like Northwood hasn't missed a shot in 10 minutes of real time. We've only played 8 minutes in the basketball game.
Right.
Northwood scored 27 points in 8 minutes. Barnes, nice catch. Barnes still driving. Brewer off glass.
Brewer does such a good job at his in-air adjustments. You've really got to have that finesse and the athleticism to be able to adjust in air the way that he does.
Already 8 in this game for Jaden. 9 against Coastal in his Bronco debut on Monday night.
Great three-quarter.
And he got a steal. Barnes will chase it down, and Sherrod's got the bucket. His first points in college.
Brewer did such a nice job at three-quartering down low on the block in order to make that entry pass almost impossible.
Lewis the miss. And then Brewer got trapped along the baseline and threw it off the back of the rim.
On the defensive side as well, trying to hold off these Timberwolves guys.
Timberwolf team, Tyler, that scored 27 points in not even half of the first half. Burton contests, but right now Northwood cannot miss. Parker Day's already got 10.
That Parker Day fadeaway is unguardable. His ability to create 3 feet of space with that step back is insane.
And then he almost got the steal. He initially took it away from Burton, but then lost it out of bounds. Still, great effort.
And speaking to our sideline reporter, Tyler was saying about that Western Michigan huddle. I tell you what, Coach Stevens is not the type to lay off on his passion and his I guess, just frustration in this type of game. He really means business. Western Michigan is not doing what they need to do, taking care of the basketball, being calm, trusting their offensive sets. They're not even doing a great job on defense at staying on their man-to-man assignments and switching when they need to switch.
They've rifled through the roster, trying to find that combination that works. Brewer has worked a lot tonight. Swartz and Barnes battling. Swartz missed it down deep.
Swartz did a good job at getting that O board, but he needs his foundation under himself before going back up. If you don't have that foundation, you've just got to pass it back out and reset.
Down low to Day. The mismatch on Griffith. Griffith pulled the chair out from him.
Griffith, really smart, sneaky play.
And Brewer off glass. Big 2 points. Big sequence there for Western.
And Brewer did a really nice job at getting his eyes up that time and finding that sweet spot on the backboard.
Give Jaden 10. He's already over the 9 points he scored the other night against Coastal.
The key, oh, sorry about that, Evan. The key for guarding Brewer is to stop him early. If he gets going in transition, he's got such a quick step and full head of steam, it's hard to stop him.
Eklund through a lot of traffic. Swartz got the miss. Sherrod Barnes inside. Offensive foul. Wave it off. Northwood's going to get to shoot free throws the rest of the half.
Northwood, they have put themselves in a really good position in the first 10 minutes of this ball game.
Sherrod Barnes doing what he did all high school long at Orchard Lake St. Mary's. Excellent on-ball defense.
And it is so hard to turn Shamray over in those full court press scenarios. That's something that head coach Tom Church told us about. That's why he trusts the sophomore as the point guard, because he can handle a full court press better than anyone else on the team.
E.J. Ryan's back in. Max Burton on that block. Max got the dribble and didn't get a whistle. More good defense from Northwood.
Burton has to hang on to that ball better, especially when he has a size advantage. The smaller guard-type players are going to try to poke at that ball any way they can.
Young. Rebound, tap back to him. Shamray kicks it back out. Will Young. Foul on the floor. Brewer went up to get it, but they call Sherrod into school. But right now you're staring down a double-digit deficit. How do you calm down and take this game back over?
The best teams are player-led teams. Of course, you have Coach Stevens, who is not going to let up on his passion and preaching to the players. However, you need a player to step up and give that same credibility, that same vibe, and then that's what gets the whole team cohesive again.
Eklund made them both. It's back up to an 11-point game. Northwood's led by as much as 14. Out of bounds. E.J. Ryan's tonight has turned it over 4 times.
The tough thing with Western Michigan having only 3 returners and Burton being the main one is that they don't really have a vocal leader. Burton, he's that quiet confidence type of guy. He's not going to be the first one to get on his teammates about turnovers or taking care of the basketball, but someone on this Broncos team has to step up and be vocal.
Shamray whipped it inside. What a pass. Sweeney the beneficiary.
Shamray is so good at threading the needle. He's an unselfish basketball player looking for pass first. Saw Burton in a bad position and threaded it through perfectly.
Carson Viss back in there. Carson Viss. Count that thing and a foul.
Viss with absolutely beautiful footwork. His patience after killing his dribble was tremendous. Watch here, even after the bobble, he gets his foundation, he makes that step through, and he uses his offhand to swat away the defense. That just helps you get that foul call.
Lex, you were just bringing up the point about all these new faces for Western Michigan, right? And we saw last year with this group, when they needed a basket down the stretch, they went to Chauncey Willis. He's not here anymore. He's at Minnesota. So in a game like this, where you're fighting back, you do start to figure out who can you go to when you need a basket.
And with Chauncey Willis, he was really good at creating shots and opportunities for himself. On this Western Michigan team, the go-to guy right now is Max Burton, who doesn't create for himself.
Sweeney finishing through traffic. He played down the road last year at Kalamazoo Valley Community College. You know he wants to play well tonight.
And Sweeney did such a good job after beating that first line of defense, going up before Burton, the second line of defense, could get all the way to him.
Carson Viss. Rebound Lewis.
Viss is doing a really good job getting inside. That time, he tried to go up with a floater instead of using that foundation and footwork that did him so well just a couple plays ago.
Sweeney. Rebound to Brewer.
Something that makes Northwood hard to guard is that their big guys can shoot the 3 too. Of course, that's becoming a lot more of a norm in college basketball, but it's something that Northwood has gotten really good at.
7
touch in order to be 36% from three-point land. They've got a lot more field goal shot opportunities, 25-17, and they're winning the rebound battle.
Let's check back in with Tyler on the sidelines.
Yeah, guys, I was actually talking about how tense things are in the Western Michigan huddle. Well, on the Northwood side, it's a quiet confidence. Coach Church said a couple words to keep it going, guys, and then the players talked amongst themselves. They're feeling good right now.
Gets swatted. Northwood's defense. We can talk all we want about how well they've played offensively, Lexi, but defensively, every time the Broncos are going inside, there's just not a whole heck of a lot there.
There's not a whole lot there, and even when the Broncos do get a shot off, it's a contested shot that is altering their shot. Mentioning what Tyler said in that Northwood huddle, it's a player-led team, and that's what makes a good team great.
Tom Church, their head coach, was telling us before this game, I think you're going to see our defensive toughness tonight. I want us to stay in this game until half and then see what happens after that. Parker Day and that entire team is making their coach look like Nostradamus.
Western Michigan needs that help line of defense.
Carson Viss gets the roll.
Too many times today has Northwood beat the first line of defense, and Western didn't have a help line coming.
This is absurd. Parker Day is playing one of the games of his life tonight. That's 14 already.
Should we say that Day is having a day, or is that just too corny?
I mean, you said it, not me.
No, but seriously, Day, from all three levels, he's getting it done.
Declan Peterson up and good.
Declan did a really nice job at realizing he didn't have the angle on the right side, used your dribble, and hit the reverse.
I mean, I don't know how you don't get the ball back to 23 if you're Northwood right now. Julian Lewis travels, and Western Michigan gets a desperately needed defensive stop.
Western Michigan has to take it one play at a time in order to chip away at this deficit that they've got going on. They've got to get and string together score, stop, score sequences.
Parker Day's a local guy, went to Heritage High in Saginaw. That's about a half hour from Northwood's campus. Transfer from Emporia State in Kansas. He's on a big stage tonight, and he is playing awesome.
Day was also voted captain by his teammates his first year at Northwood.
Burton spinning, shooting, and missing. Rebound, Will Young.
Burton should not be fading away against guys that he has a size advantage on. Use that strength, dip your shoulder, and draw some contact.
Long range Will Young shot ends up going out of bounds, and Western Michigan's defense starting to tighten the screws.
Brewer did a really nice job at altering that shot, chopping his feet and having a hand up before he even had to sprint out there.
Jalen Griffith, couple coming on him, gets it to Brewer. To Viss, shot clock at 7. Carson Viss keeps on going and gets blocked.
Tough.
Will Young was having none of it. There's just 2 on this shot clock.
Northwood is making it a point to keep Western Michigan out of the paint. They're chopping. They're staying in front of their defensive assignments. They're building a wall that you cannot get through inside.
We're about to see what play the Broncos have. This baseline out of bounds play. It's a lob to Burton in Northwood basketball. Smith ahead of the pack. Blocked by Brewer.
Smith has to make sure in transition like that he draws some contact. There's too many high flyers on Western Michigan to not.
Brewer slicing to the rim. Jaden Brewer now with 12.
Brewer is the player for Western Michigan right now that needs to get a chip on his shoulder and continue getting inside. He's one of the only ones out of the Broncos that has had success with that tonight.
Shamray open look. Viss pass ahead. Almost looking like the high school quarterback that Carson was at South Christian. He just led the receiver a bit too much that time.
Just a little bit too much, and Western Michigan has to calm down. They can't risk any touchdown passes right now. Even if it looks like you're off to the races in transition, they've really got to make the easy pass in order to come back from this deficit.
Shamray alone. Rebound Northwood and Day. It's Young, beg your pardon. Young. Rebound, another one. Dunn got stripped. Viss has got it again. Brewer lost the pass from Viss, and now Shamray's up ahead.
A crazy couple sets, but Northwood continuing to dominate the boards.
Viss got it, corner 3.
A much-needed bucket for Western Michigan, and they got it with the paint touch. Finally, getting inside of the paint, forcing Northwood to collapse inside. That ebb and flow gets the defense out of position and opens up 3 balls for Western Michigan.
Shamray switched on to Burton. Eklund alone. Burton in that corner. It will be Northwood basketball.
His confidence. A lot of the game of basketball is more mental than it is physical, and right now it's Northwood that wants it more.
Brewer. Rebound. Eklund. Yes! Jamison Eklund would not be denied.
Eklund did such a good job at following his shot, not putting his head down, crying or whining, not getting the foul call on the first try. He just goes right back for it, where Western Michigan on the flip side, they're jumping up trying to play the pogo battle instead of turning around after that first shot and boxing out, sticking to the fundamentals of basketball.
When DJ Stevens, the Broncos head coach, looks at the stats at halftime, he's going to be sick. He's a guy who prides the Broncos on winning the rebounding battle. They're losing it by 6 right now.
And the O board is even worse, 12-5.
Max Burton missed it short, but that's a big foul. That's the second on Parker Day.
Day has to be careful. He cannot get another foul in this half, but he has done a really good job at staying as clean as possible against Burton. One of those ticky-tacky fouls, I thought he did a good job keeping his hands straight up.
Burton back to the line. He's 1 of 2 from there tonight. Western Michigan, fresh off making 28 free throws in their win against Coastal Carolina on Monday night, is 3 of 9 at the free throw line tonight.
Western Michigan's mental just doesn't seem to be there today. It didn't show up with the full force of effort of taking care of the basketball. And you see that in things like the free throws being 3 for 9. You see that in turnovers with 12 before the half is even over.
Griffith's back in. Sherrod Barnes still in there for the Broncos with 2 fouls. Sherrod almost got the steal. He did get the travel. There's that defense. Sherrod made a name for that.
Right now, think about we're losing to a D2 team. Just one play at a time, string together those score, stop, score sequences, and you'll close the gap.
Score is correct, and they added 9 seconds. Barnes for Burton. To Jalen Griffith, the second half star from the other night. Big 3. He had 15 in the second half last night, and tonight in the first half he's got 6.
A tough thing for Northwood right now is as much as they're packing in the paint and not allowing the Broncos to get inside, it is opening up more space for the Western Michigan three-point shooters. They're 75% as a team from three-point land right now.
The third foul on Sherrod Barnes. Sometimes when you play that aggressive defense, it can bite you in the backside.
Fouls coming from aggressive defense are normally okay with coaches. Those are effort fouls that you can live with.
I mean, if I'm the Broncos, Lex, when I get into the locker room, they're probably going to be around 40 points. If you had told them before the game, you're going to score 40 points in the first half, they'd sign up for that all day long. But to your point, it's some of that effort stuff. It's the rebounding. It's the missed free throws. It's the turnovers. It's the reason why the score looks the way it does right now.
Especially at the beginning of the season when you've only got 3 returners on your squad. That's where it becomes so important to build that chemistry, trust the offensive half-court sets, and make the easy pass. Honestly, basketball game is overcomplicated way too often. Just simplify the game and play, read, and react.
Couple of free throws missed by the Timberwolves. Ward gets tangled up with Burton. Griffith, what defensive effort.
Northwood needed a bounce pass in that 2-on-1 fast break.
Jalen Griffith, good.
Griffith turning his defense into offense. That's exactly the energy that Western Michigan needs to come back in this game, eliminating possessions and shots for Northwood while getting some in transition, the easy money bunnies for themselves.
Northwood needs a bucket all of a sudden. Shamray to Sweeney. And he got the second foul on Max Burton.
Sweeney did a nice job with his foundation and the rip over, dipping the shoulder a bit and drawing that contact on Burton. However, Sweeney switched back to his right hand. He could have had that and one if he went with the left. It would have created more space to get the shot off.
Talking about this earlier, John, first season at Northwood, played at Kalamazoo Valley Community College last year. That's 8 miles from Western's campus. In today's day and age of college basketball, Lexi, these programs find talent everywhere. So John Sweeney's kind of got to be thinking at the free throw line, I played like 15 minutes away and Broncos never saw me, never wanted me. I'm going to walk in here tonight and make a statement.
Absolutely. I can't speak for Sweeney if he came in with that extra chip on his shoulder, but as a former ball player, I know I would if I'm going anywhere that I thought didn't want me or overlooked me. I'm putting on the show and the game of my life.
By the way, you'll see him in the right corner coming up here. Nicholas Erica, the Italian, is making his college debut right now. And he's got the ball. Gives it off to Jalen Griffith. That man has handles for days.
Oh.
You know, when you're listed on the roster at 5'10", 150, and you're actually probably not that big, you got to get creative on those drives to the rim.
The smaller the guy, the bigger the heart. Isn't that how the phrase goes? Something like that. No, Griffith, though, he does such a good job with his ball handling. He's got a killer cross that stays so low. Even if you have your opposite hand waiting there and ready, it's just too low to get a piece of it. And then his ability to adjust to that help line of defense, drawing contact, he does such a good job at getting to the free throw line.
Foul came essentially at 30 seconds, by the way, so Broncos not going to have that shot to go 2 for 1 after all. Griffith got them both, and the lead is down to 4 here. Good fight back by the Broncos to close the half. Coaching staff for Northwood is over there saying, boys, slow it down. We don't have to shoot until the bitter end here. Day driving. Lost the ball and got a late foul. He wants a shooting foul, although Northwood's in the double bonus anyway, so it doesn't matter.
I think that's why Day was calling for that shot. I'm heading to the free throw line either way.
Right now, Parker Day has got the look on his face of a guy who is feeling it. That man is locked in right now. Look at that.
He really is. And Western Michigan, on the opposite side of things, they need to have a higher IQ and situational awareness. With just 7 seconds on the clock, you know if you foul, you're sending Northwood to the free throw line. Just play good, strong, fundamental defense, but don't risk fouls right there.
Yes, the only benefit is Broncos will get a shot to shoot the ball one more time in the half here. Gotta go quick. Under 5. Griffith races up the floor. Ryans. Oh my goodness. Our first wedgie of the season.
Him by committee. Day is so good at beating that first line of defense, and then Western Michigan hasn't had someone camped out posting up on the help line. That will be a big key for them to come back in the second half.
We're underway, and Parker Day's got it. 15 points in the first half. Lewis long gun, and they're right back to it in the second half.
Wow, Broncos even went over the screen that time on Lewis, learned their lesson that he's a shooter, but you have to have a hand up in the face of Lewis while you're guarding him at all times. He's so quick to get in his shot pocket and pull the trigger.
Brewer trying to get it to Ryans, does get it to EJ.
Western keeps killing their dribble, though, and getting stuck.
Burton, gotta go. Max lost the ball. Shamray to Young. Rebound Burton.
Those transition threes are so in rhythm, though. Young just off the mark that time.
EJ Ryans got the foul. It's the first one on Shamray in the second half, his second foul overall.
Western Michigan has a lot of different guys who can get up the court quick in transition. That one by Ryans, he does such a good job. Had a quick little hesitation just to get the defense off balance enough to dive right back at you. And Northwood needs to pick up and stop ball much sooner. Don't let Western Michigan ram it down your throat like that.
This could be a recipe for the Broncos to get back in the game, retake the lead in the second half, get to the free throw line. That's what they did when they won on Monday night against Coastal Carolina. They got the Chanticleers in foul trouble early. Western Michigan was in the double bonus for half of the second half, and they ended up making 28 free throws in that comeback win.
Western Michigan will have to lock in mentally in this second half, limit those turnovers better than they did in the first, and make more of those free throws than they did in the first. 14 turnovers and only 54% from the free throw line was Western Michigan.
Parker Day. Brewer gets the miss. Northwood's missed a couple to start this half. Jaden Brewer all the way, and Burton cleans it up.
Burton does such a nice job at going for the O boards. It will be a huge key for Western Michigan to win this game, is win that rebound battle. Burton, one of, if not the best rebounder for this Broncos team. He's got to put more dominance out there.
Lewis. Rebound, Ward. Broncos running. Brewer gave it up. Hudson Ward almost got his miss. Now it's Jamison Eklund. 4-2 on Ryans.
Nice by Eklund to run in transition. He did get lucky on the defensive end, lost his guy in transition, and could have ended up with another Broncos big three out of Ward.
Could have been a one-point game if the Broncos made it. Ryans gets a foul. That is the second quick team foul on Northwood here in the second half.
Northwood just needs to lock in. Western Michigan bringing out that energy, that dominance. Watch this put-back dunk by Burton. Really good awareness to turn around and go for that O-board at the perfect divine timing.
That was just the third foul on Shamray. He's out for Northwood. And yet another foul. This time it's on Will Young. Broncos going right back to the same recipe they had when they came back and won on Monday night. Get some fouls, get to the free throw line.
Smart by Broncos. One of the best ways to chip at a deficit is to stop the clock and get some free points at the free throw line. Broncos making it a much bigger emphasis to get inside, get those paint touches. That's something that Northwood stopped them from doing a big portion of that first half.
Ryans to a wide open Burton, and Max is feeling it in the second half.
Northwood with lapses of communication, especially on the screens. You have to yell out if you're switching, if you're staying, and make sure everyone's on the same page.
Trey Lewis down to the floor, almost got it. Eklund to Smith. Eklund driving again. Leaning into Ryans, great pass. Better block by Brewer.
Broncos defense is so much more energized.
Jaden Brewer, yes, and to the line.
Brewer, not to mention with Shamray on the bench. He's the guy who leads this team. He's the point guard, the pass maker, the playmaker, who's unselfish and feeds other guys, gets them in good positions to score.
1 point game. Julian Lewis, Jamison Eklund, spinning on Trey Lewis, and he got the roll.
I was really intrigued to see if Eklund would get a chip on his shoulder, become the go-to guy with Shamray and Day on the bench, and he absolutely did. The second he got that ball, he knew he was going to score. Dipped that shoulder and committed to it.
Broncos can tie with a three here. And it won't happen here. Lewis travels. That is yet another Western Michigan turnover, their 14th.
With the way that Northwood forces turnovers, gets in your grill, and gets you to cough up that basketball, what Western Michigan cannot afford to do are those self-inflicted lapse of judgment and mental turnovers.
Got it to Eklund again. Sweeney ready to shoot it.
Sweeney, he is a big guy who can shoot the basketball, but that's not his biggest strength.
Ryans keeps the dribble alive. Brewer starting to feel it. Jaden Brewer got the miss. Went back up and missed it again. Viss, what effort! Carson Viss to the line.
That Western Michigan possession are really the only statistical category that Western Michigan is winning in a very lopsided fashion, 19-2, in big thanks to how quick Brewer goes.
One more coming for Carson Viss, a remarkably talented freshman from Grand Rapids South Christian. Carson is obviously a very good basketball player, although he just missed a couple of free throws, but he may have been a better high school football player. He moonlighted playing football, and he was maybe the greatest quarterback South Christian ever had. I know John Wasink would like a word, but Carson was an excellent quarterback in high school.
And Viz has some connections here as well. He played for head coach Taylor Johnson at Grand Rapids South Christian High School, where Western Michigan's all-time leading scorer, David Kuhl, is the AD.
Again, there's Jaden Brewer getting a foul call. Lex, we're not even 5 minutes into the second half, and already that's the 16th foul on Northwood.
It's because Brewer is doing such a good job at ramming it down Northwood's throat. Nobody on Northwood's team is stopping him and picking up ball way pushed forward in transition. You cannot let Brewer get all the way into the paint, or you are already beat.
Again, this was the recipe when the Broncos came back and won against Coastal Carolina on Monday night. Their first lead in that game came in the second half. They got to the free throw line, got Coastal in the double bonus early in the second half, and won that game on the backs of 28 made free throws. Tonight, the free throws are haunting Western Michigan with how many that they have missed in this game. Even after the Jaden Brewer make there, the Broncos are now just 10 of 19 from the line.
Western Michigan really needs to lock in. Free throws, turnovers, those are two mental moments.
Oh my goodness! The lob and the finish! How about it? John Simpson's first college bucket is a beauty!
Simpson with a vertical that looked like a 45-inch. Oh my gosh, a high flyer. He brought that one back and cocked it.
Eklund couldn't save it. The effort is not waning for Northwood as they are making plays in Kalamazoo.
If you thought Northwood lost some energy in that second half, that John Simpson slam brought it right back. The way he caught Viz sleeping on the defensive end and got him up in the air.
He got those genes from his mom, who was a star hoops player at Michigan State. This traveled, and the Western Michigan offensive momentum has cooled.
Mind you, John Simpson is just a freshman, so a lot more of those high-flying, exciting moments to come from him.
Sherrod Barnes checks in for the Broncos. He's got 3 fouls. Foul situation for Northwood is something to watch here. Shamray, Day, and Sweeney, 3 of their top players, all have 3 fouls. Sweeney is out there right now. 4th foul on Sherrod Barnes.
Something, though, that Northwood head coach Tom Church told us is that he feels his team's depth is a lot better this year. So even though 3 of Northwood's main players on the bench with 3 fouls right now, we'll see if Church is right, if there is not a drop-off this year when he's got to sub in some of those bench guys.
Got to bring Ryans right back in because Barnes has got the 4 fouls. And another foul, this time in the inbound.
One of the biggest keys for Northwood to not allow a drop-off with 3 of their main guys on the bench is to continue crashing the boards. Effort cannot go down, not one bit. Even if the talent does by a percentage, the effort has to stay on 10.
Lewis got it. Every time they need a big shot, they get one from somebody tonight.
And gosh, Lewis is just so quick to pull that trigger. The way he comes around and sets up his feet with the 1-2 step, catches the ball, good pass, always getting it in his shot pocket, and just such a quick high release. It's unstoppable.
Griffith to Burton. Leaning into Sweeney. Rebound Swartz. Brady back up and in.
Offensive rebounding has been so much better by Western Michigan in this second half. They're not giving up on the boards. They're doing a better job with the fundamentals of rebounding, boxing out, and getting in position.
Eklund, baseline drive. Burton met him down there. Broncos will have numbers if they hurry. Swartz alone. Blocked and fouled. Broncos are officially shooting free throws the rest of the game.
And you could tell that Northwood almost looked confused when it was Brewer not running straight to the block in transition. Northwood is so used to Brewer coming inside that they didn't even realize they had someone else streaking back door.
Brady Swartz, another one of these really talented freshmen that Bronco fans are going to get to know going forward. Brady was just a bucket getter in high school. He dropped 50 points in a game for Northwood High in Grand Rapids last year. Sweeney is coming out with those 3 fouls. Not only is Brady a bucket getter, but that man's hair belongs on a hockey blue line. That lettuce is just outstanding. Good on you.
Brady, what's cool is he played in high school with Broncos teammate E.J. Ryan, so already a little bit of chemistry coming from there.
Oh my goodness. Hopping up and down low. Simpson was all alone, and then they threw it over his head.
Eklund, a really patient player, doesn't normally make crazy passes like that. But you get excited. Sometimes when you see someone that wide open, you're just trying to dish it off with a quickness. You've got to be able to have your composure in moments like that.
Griffith keeps the dribble. Brewer to Burton. Ryan's off the handoff. Rebound, Parker Day, playing with 3 fouls.
And Day did such a good job at pushing Burton back up off the block again, almost all the way to the perimeter.
Young, fouled. Ryan's not quite sure that was the right call.
A few ticky-tacky fouls today. However, you can't use that as an excuse. If you realize the refs are calling a little bit ticky-tacky, then you've got to do a better job at playing off, chopping your feet better, and get disciplined.
Broncos still okay in the foul department right now in terms of the half. They have 3. Off the inbound, going right at Swartz, and a tough finish. John Simpson, no fear in this second half.
Simpson created so much shoulder just space by dipping that shoulder.
Nice finish on the other end, high off glass for Griffith.
Griffith does a nice job using his fundamentals, trying to get his eyes up and use that backboard when he comes from a tough angle.
It's a big foul on Jalen Griffith. That's his second. Got him reaching in. So now that's 4 team fouls on Western Michigan. The last time the Broncos led was 4-3. They trailed by 15 points multiple times in the first half. And Northwood keeps keeping them at that arm's length. Day, shot fake. Parker Day. Rebound Brewer. Ryan's attacking. Griffith ready to shoot it. This game is tied.
Day cannot stay laying on the ground and lacking running back in transition defense. That's the whole reason that Western Michigan was able to find a wide open 3-point shooter, because they were playing 5-on-4 with Day laying on the ground.
Will Young left alone, and Northwood leads again.
Young has a really pretty mid-range, and he utilizes that in an age that they say it's dead, the mid-range game.
That was the Broncos' 17th turnover. Andrew Smith got it back to Shamray. Andrew Smith was high school teammates with Sherrod Barnes. Tough shot. Not that time. Burton the rebound.
Young should have looked for Day on the down low dump because there was a switch on the screens and he had a mismatch, a size advantage for once.
What a pass! And Smith's got a foul. Burton. Griffith eyes by defensive communication that's not quite there yet with all the new pieces.
Defensive communication and the effort on, those rebound battles, some mental lapses with the turnovers, but their ability to score the basketball, especially with players like Griffith and Brewer added to the mix alongside players like Burton who are coming back and returning. This Western Michigan team could be a really high production scoring offense, especially with their up-tempo play. And I also want to point out that Griffith is from a JUCO in Texas, and so many people just write off the NAIAs and the JUCOs. But my goodness, does it make a difference? And that's something that we talked to Northwood's head coach Tom Church about, the difference in the level of play between D1 and D2, between JUCOs and D2. There's not much of a drop-off. You find high-level talent everywhere as Northwood finally finds 2 more to go in a little bit of a drought.
Jamison Eklund, 13 points. All these Northwood Timberwolves are proven tonight. D2, who cares? We can play.
And I say it with personal bias. Coming from an NAIA, we beat a D1 before.
Ryan's the miss. Good pass ahead, Will Young. Andrew Smith stays in there. He's known for his shooting, 21 in blue.
Northwood looking really patient in this set.
Eklund misses. Brewer held firm. Broncos a run.
Eklund just has to use the backboard there.
Jaden Brewer. Blocking foul inside. Andrew Smith thought he got position down deep.
I like that call by the refs. Even though Smith thought he got position, the key for Northwood is to stop Brewer higher up in transition. And it's good to see Western Michigan continue to make Northwood pay for not fixing and adjusting on that.
Brewer in his Western debut on Monday night had to shake off the cobwebs a little bit. 9 points, 1 of 5 shooting. Tonight we're seeing why this guy was one of the top scorers in Conference USA last year with FIU. 17 points. He's made 5 free throws. And all by the way, once Western Michigan gets 1 more foul on Northwood, they're shooting 2 the rest of the game. This is the exact formula they followed when they came back and won against Coastal on Monday night. Get them in foul trouble and get to the line in the second half.
An inspiring thing about Brewer, kind of shaking the rust off in that first game with only 9 points. He still added 8 rebounds. If he's not getting it done scoring, he's making sure he's doing other things to help his team. Today, he's right near that double-double territory, 18 points, 9 boards.
Young inside. Day, no whistle. Day up again. Got the whistle that time. Parker Day, one of the nights of his life.
Day does not give up. He never looks discouraged. He keeps a chip on his shoulder at all times. If he misses, it doesn't matter. He gets it back. He dips his shoulder, and then he flexes on you because that is tough.
6'7", 215. First game that Parker Day is ever playing at Northwood. A transfer from Emporia State in Kansas. Started at Macomb Community College. Then he went to Grand Valley. This game for Northwood isn't even an official game. It's an exhibition. But these guys are putting a statement out there. No matter how this game ends for them, Lexi, they are proving to everyone in the Great Midwest Athletic Conference, you picked us 11th before the season. I don't think they're going to finish 11th.
No, and when you watch Day play, you can see the attitude and the contagious energy that he brings to the game. There's no wonder why he was voted captain by his teammates his first ever year with Northwood.
Griffith inside. Burton wanted it that whole possession, but he didn't get the roll.
Burton missing too many bunnies. He's not playing strong and tough the way that we're used to seeing him play off that great foundation that he has.
Brewer runs. Jaden Brewer. Yes! Jaden Brewer starting to take this game over.
Brewer is one of the quickest guards in the MAC. I'm saying it now. Brewer being a transfer over here, he's making his impact and presence known in the Mid-American Conference immediately. His ability to run in transition, adjust to defense, absorb contact, his hezzies and his spin cycles, all lethal.
Got to keep making your free throws here if you're Western Michigan. Got the shooter's touch, and we are tied again. Just our 5th tie tonight. The Broncos have not led since it was 4-3.
And a big reason why Western Michigan was able to tie this back up. They're now winning the rebound battle, 29-26.
Michael Sulaka sent that thing away.
Western Michigan also doing a much better job at bringing that help line of defense over. Watch the Rockets come up. He's ready. He's already posted up, camping out on the help line, so that all he has to do is jump up with his hands straight like a board. Big block.
John Sweeney comes back in for Northwood. He takes out Parker Day. Day playing with 3 fouls, so is Sweeney. Smith trapped in that corner. Julian Lewis cannot miss in the second half.
You cannot allow Lewis to have even an inch of space. You've got to ride his hip. Most shooters, you have to do that, but it's hard to stay on his hip because shooters also keep moving. He's got that Steph Curry-esque ability to just run you in circles.
Griffith turned it over. And then Smith lost it. Brewers got it. And then he lost it.
Kind of looks like it's the beginning of the season, huh?
Yeah, feels like the second game. Dump down low, Sweeney, and just like that, the lead is 5.
Good for Northwood to not lose their composure after a crazy few possessions right there. Steals and turnovers back and forth to still buckle down.
They got to stop Northwood. They got to start making some baskets, guys.
You know, the thing is, Tyler, the numbers tell you that Western's pretty efficient tonight. They're 52% from the field. Northwood's just taken 15 more shots than the Broncos have in this game.
Which is insane, knowing that Coach Stevens lives and dies by creating more possessions than the other team. That up-tempo basketball he prides himself on. Also,
tonight, 8 Broncos are from Michigan. 11 guys on Northwood's team are from Michigan. This is a showcase for Michigan basketball tonight. Northwood is trying to win one of the biggest games they ever have. But they're going to have to stop Max Burton down low down the stretch.
Day has done a really good job at pushing Burton up high and getting him in a position where he doesn't feel as strong and as comfortable posting up, sealing on the blocks. However, when Sweeney comes in, Sweeney lets him get that positioning.
Sulaka fouls Lewis, and Julian will shoot 3.
It's been so hard for Western Michigan to try to stop Lewis on that 3-point shot. He's so quick to get a trigger off. It's almost like if you don't follow him, he's making the shot.
We were talking about this at the top of the broadcast. Julian is not going to be nervous to play a team like Western Michigan. He's played at Miami, Ohio, and Eastern Michigan in his college career before this. And we're getting to that time of the game, Lexi, where Northwood is going to have big moments. They're going to have big free throws like this. Can they have the resolve to get this thing to the bitter end and pull off maybe the greatest win the program's ever had?
If Western Michigan can get disciplined, they can win this game. It's moments like not fouling a 3-point shooter on the 3-point line, knowing that the only shots he's taken in this entire game are 3-point shots. He's 4 for 8 from the 3-point line, hasn't taken a single other shot since, and that's where Western Michigan has to run him off of that 3-point land. Western Michigan just hasn't known and stuck to their assignments as well as they could have today with the scouting reports.
Subs here for the Broncos: Lewis, Griffith, Burton, Brewer, and Barnes. 3 starters, 2 bench guys. Right back to Burton. Max is starting to feel it. Burton gets a foul on Sweeney. Even with the new continuation rules in college basketball, that is not an and 1 for Max.
Northwood needs to put Day back in on Burton. He's only got 3 fouls, so I don't know why he's still sitting on the bench. However, Burton is able to just have his way with Sweeney, gets the positioning too easy every time, and then just backs him down even easier.
That was the third foul on John Sweeney. We're on Burton double-double.
Advantage any way they can. Burton's just had some slippery fingers today.
1 of 2 at the line. The Broncos have now missed 10 free throws.
Which is a difference maker in a 4-point game.
Who is going to take these big shots for Northwood down the stretch?
Northwood has 4 different options of players who have scored in double digits today.
Here's Parker Day, who's having a day, but he gets stopped. If Brewer doesn't touch that ball, I wonder if it's Bronco ball instead of challenge against Grand Valley in that game. And they have carried the momentum into this game. It's Day off the inbound. Parker Day. It's out of bounds, and it is Western Michigan basketball.
Day has a really pretty fadeaway. Just didn't keep his balance, his foundation. Even when you fade away, you need those hips and shoulders squared. They weren't that time.
Burton post position again. Right at Sweeney with 3 fouls. Max couldn't get the roll.
Max missing some bunnies and giving Sweeney a break.
Day, good catch along that baseline. Griffith is on Simpson. Sweeney is open.
Sweeney has relied a little too much on that 3-ball, settling instead of getting inside.
Sherrod Barnes didn't get a whistle. Now he's behind the play. Northwood coming up the floor.
Western Michigan needs a few more passes to get that rhythm and get the defense shifted and out of sync.
Shamray was all alone down low, but he tried to pass it to Simpson, and as soon as he passed it, he knew he made a mistake.
Yeah, sometimes Shamway, being that pass-first point guard, will actually work to a disadvantage. You can't turn down something wide open for the pass.
12 players for Western Michigan before the season and never played a game for the Broncos. Who's taking the big shots? Griffith takes this one and makes it. 2-point game.
Shamray got fumbled up, lost Griffith for a minute, and a big key when you're guarding someone that handles as good as he does is to watch their hips, that stomach section. That doesn't move like the ball does.
Young, long 2, not there. Brewer on the attack. Jaden Brewer downhill and blocked.
Simpson is just so athletic. We saw a big slam earlier, but getting it done defensively too.
20th Bronco turnover. And Day scores. Back to a 4-point game.
Northwood has not had many fast break opportunities. That's just their 6th point in the fast break. Doing a good job zipping up the floor and making crisp passes to get that one to go.
Griffith, the 21st turnover. Another lob and a jam! John Simpson is adding to the highlight reel.
Young, an unselfish team player right there. He knew he could have had that 2-on-1 fast break, kept it for himself. Instead,
They still got to get this thing to the finish line. There are still 4 long minutes to go. But let's all buckle up and watch what could be history here in Kalamazoo tonight. Brewer, big shot. Gigantic 3 for Western Michigan.
Brewer, we haven't seen him take a lot of threes today. His bread and butter is in transition, read and react, and crashing, getting inside. However, he is never one to turn down a wide open shot. That's a good IQ basketball play. Take it when you're open, capitalize.
Do the Timberwolves have nerves of steel? Shamray on the cut. One more pass. Brewer couldn't block it. Simpson could score it.
Beautiful backdoor cut by Shamray. Caught his defender sleeping and hit it on the cut. However, him being that pass first point guard, you always have to cut with him because he's constantly looking for someone else to streak. Found it in Simpson.
E.J. Ryans driving. Half the shot clock gone. Broncos will reset it. Griffith downhill. Carson Viss. Out of bounds. Bronco bench thinks it
making a difference in an extremely tight game that's got a lot on the line for the confidence of this Northwood basketball team here.
2:55 and counting toward maybe the greatest night in the history of their basketball program. Eklund on Brewer. Jamison Eklund blocked. Brewer has racked up the blocks tonight, his fourth.
Brewer, he's just so athletic and he's quick to make decisions because he plays read and react basketball.
Brewer is getting held, but it doesn't matter. It's an offensive foul, and Parker Day is making plays on both ends.
Huge momentum change from the challenge being successful to that stop on defense. Day holding his ground and getting that call on Brewer, hooking him in that way. Really big moment for Northwood to extend this lead even more.
Cutting, block again. Brewer's fifth.
Brewer is not giving up.
Trey Lewis. Griffith. Sherrod Barnes. Brewer rebounds. Jaden Brewer, no. Barnes, yes.
Brewer with double-double, multiple blocks, getting it done by any means necessary. That's what helped the Broncos get a few offensive boards right there and then end up converting, getting those second chance points. Brewer makes all the difference for the Broncos.
Young off a hard screen, finds a wide open Simpson. 10-point second half.
Where Broncos are struggling is getting some more of these stops strung along on the defensive end in order to chip away.
Griffith. Burton taps it back, but right to Young. And now how does Northwood attack it offensively? 5-point lead. They can run this under a minute to go.
And that's key. Northwood has to be patient here, have their composure, take the best shot possible.
Day, a quick one, and he missed it.
That's a tough one because Day was wide open, so you're baited into wanting to take that. However, you really have to be aware of the clock in moments like this and utilize that.
Griffith trapped. Lewis wanted it. It's a kicked ball out of bounds. Broncos have one timeout left. Northwood has two.
Broncos need to feed the hot hands of Brewer right now.
Trey Lewis hasn't scored tonight.
Yeah, not the shot the Broncos are looking for. Hasn't scored tonight with just 50 seconds left. That's not what you can settle on if you want to win a basketball game and you're the Broncos.
Not fouling for now. Day, drive, find, finish. Simpson has put Northwood on the doorstep of maybe the greatest win. The place wowed him. The campus, the area, he said it was the best decision for my family's life. With a win like this, their life may change. Jalen Griffith gets two, and now the Broncos got to start fouling.
Good by Griffith to go as quick as possible. Western has no time to waste.
Griffith will foul right away, and Church was there. But when he went to Northwood, so did Braden. Nerves of steel for the sophomore from Hudsonville.
What's really cool about Sham Ray's story is that he wasn't highly recruited in high school. It was head coach Tom Church who believed in him, got him to commit at Tiffin, and brought him over to Northwood.
Following his miss, he almost saved it. Do the Broncos have to shoot threes now?
If I'm the Broncos, I'm going by what's been working best for me, and they've been really well from three-point land. If they can get an open three-point shot, that should be their first option. They're 42% from three.
They will sub in some three-point shooters here. The Italian Nicholas Erica is in, number 9. Griffith driving, and he gets fouled. I really don't know how much a two-pointer helps you there.
If you can get that clock stopped, then a 2 points added to your deficit will help you. As long as that clock is stopped, you have time to really extend this game out and battle through free throws.
And this is an area where if the Broncos lose, Western Michigan's going to look to a couple areas on that stat sheet, and the free throws are one of them. They have missed 10 free throws in this game, and they have turned it over 22 times.
If Western Michigan had more mental toughness at the free throw line, this game could have looked a lot different because they did such a tremendous job at drawing contact and getting themselves on the line. Griffith right here going for the 30th free throw for the Broncos of the night.
Jalen's got 21 in this game. And he just picked up the foul, trying to strip it in that corner. Shamrock season, they played at Central Michigan. They played at Michigan. Shamray at the free throw right now is salting away maybe the biggest win in the history of Northwood University.
My gosh, just the mental toughness and ferociousness out of Northwood is inspiring. This is an exhibition, but they're playing like it's March.
Western Michigan ball. Parker Day.
And stop the clock for free throws.
This will inbound. Griffith has got it. Broncos need points, and they need them now. Long three, and he's fouled. Jamonte Smith does the last thing you can do.
One of the most boneheaded plays, to put it bluntly, out of Northwood in this entire game. All Northwood needs to do is lock down, play good defense, and let that clock run out.
And now the Broncos go back to the line, where they have struggled tonight. They've missed 10 free throws. But all of a sudden, if they can get a couple here, the final 10 seconds get real interesting. Right now, it is church quiet as Jalen Griffith has got one more.
If Smith would have just been able to contest and stay on his feet, not jump into Griffith, this game could already be over and a win for Northwood. However, giving Griffith the opportunity to get these shots from the free throw line with the clock stopped is huge for Western Michigan. He didn't have the most rhythm in his favor coming up, dribbling the ball into his shot pocket with time winding down.
Halfway down and out. Broncos got a foul. Lewis will give it. To know that he doesn't have to worry about making the first one. Broncos will bring Viss and Burton back in. That's 4 shooters on the floor and Burton.
Burton has to secure this rebound if Young misses it.
He did. Broncos got to move. Game clock under 5. Lewis, 3, no! And this may be the